Governor Gretchen Whitmer declared a state of emergency over the weekend to bring more energy to Michigan home.
20% of our economy is tied to the auto industry, which depends on a steady flow of goods from our largest and closest trading partners.
I would say in the last month, we've seen gas price wars, which we never really experienced too much before.
A crisis is unfolding across the northern United States. Gas stations are closing their pumps. Prices are soaring to levels not seen in years. This isn't a distant problem in a foreign land. It's happening right here, right now. The intricate web that delivers fuel to our homes, farms, and businesses is fraying. The chain reaction began in March 2025. The Trump administration imposed a 10% tariff on Canadian energy imports. Canada's response was swift and severe. In a retaliatory measure, the province of Alberta, the heart of Canada's oil industry, made a stunning decision. It slashed crude oil and refined gasoline exports to the United States by nearly 50%. The United States' dependence on Canadian energy cannot be overstated. Canada provides over 4 million barrels of oil to the U.S. every single day. Without their primary feedstock, refinery output of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel plummeted. Michigan was the first domino to fall, and it fell hard. Within 72 hours, Detroit, Flint, and Grand Rapids posted out-of-fuel signs. Prices jumped from under $4 to nearly $4.65 in just 4 days. Auto plants in Detroit face potential shutdown from lack of parts and inability to transport finished goods. Governor Whitmer declared an energy emergency, authorizing release of state fuel reserves and relaxing driver hour restrictions. One might think an oil-producing giant like North Dakota would be immune to a fuel shortage. The reality is far more complex. While the state sits atop massive oil fields, much of its refined fuel comes from refineries now starved of crude. The crisis has struck at the worst possible time. Farmers are in the middle of preparing for wheat, soybean, and canola harvest. With fuel suddenly scarce and expensive, many have been forced to scale back operations, leaving valuable crops at risk. In Montana, vast distances make fuel shortage a crisis of mobility. Residents must drive hundreds of kilometers between towns. Residents queue for hundreds of meters, hoping to get their 8 to 10-gallon ration before stations run dry. In Minneapolis-St. Paul, major chains like Speedway and Holiday quickly capped sales at 10, 12 gallons per vehicle. In Duluth, authorities implemented rotating fuel distribution schedules, dividing residential areas into zones. The state's powerful agricultural industry is facing crisis. Farmers in counties like Stearns and Nobles struggle to power tractors and transport goods. The soaring cost of diesel is making it nearly impossible to operate profitably. Northern New York, sharing a long border with Quebec and Ontario, has seen its fuel supply lines virtually severed. Communities along the St. Lawrence River are now hotspots of scarcity, with residents driving 50-plus miles to find open stations. Vermont, known for dairy and maple syrup, relies heavily on Canadian fuel imports. Its agricultural sector is struggling. In Maine, diesel shortages have forced lobster boats to remain docked, jeopardizing coastal community livelihoods. Washington, the largest energy trade hub in the Pacific Northwest, is seeing fuel shipments from British Columbia fall by over 60%. Despite gasoline prices exceeding $6 per gallon, the state's highest in over 2 decades, supply remains critically short. It's the story of a single mother in Flint, Michigan, who now has to choose between filling her tank to get to work or buying groceries for her children. It's the fear in the eyes of an elderly couple in rural Montana, whose nearest doctor is 60 miles away, wondering if they'll have enough gas for an emergency. Truck drivers, the unsung heroes of our supply chain, are on the front lines. They now spend more time hunting for diesel than driving. His schedule is in chaos, delivery deadlines missed, and income plummeting as fuel costs eat away at profits. In Minnesota, a third-generation farmer watches his window to harvest soybeans shrink with each passing day. The fuel he can find is sold at a staggering premium, threatening to wipe out any profit he might have made this year. The crisis has given rise to gasoline black markets, with illicit sellers offering fuel from unmarked canisters at exorbitant prices. Desperate residents pay premiums sometimes 30% higher than already inflated station prices for fuel of unknown quality. Faced with escalating crisis, governors in 10 hardest-hit states are deploying every tool at their disposal. Emergency declarations unlock powers, suspending trucker hour limits, tapping state fuel reserves, implementing rationing systems. The fuel crisis is no longer just about gas prices. Empty shelves are appearing as supply chains break down. Auto plants and food processing facilities are shutting down from lack of parts and inability to ship products. Experts warn that if disruption continues, prices could surge past $6 or even $7 per gallon. Such prices would move beyond painful and become prohibitive for millions, effectively grounding a significant portion of the population. The immediate challenge is resolving the diplomatic impasse with Canada to restore energy flows. The larger challenge is rethinking our energy dependence. This crisis is a wake-up call about energy security. The choices we make now will determine whether this is a temporary shock or the beginning of a much darker, more uncertain future. This energy shockwave reveals how quickly our interconnected systems can unravel. The question remains, can diplomatic solutions prevent economic catastrophe?